Glad you could join us today on EDFA. Welcome to the program. I'm Ayola Kasim. In 2016, carbon dioxide levels have reached new records. Temperatures in oceans have broken warmth record, with a consequent widespread coral reef bleaching, floods, heat waves, and cyclones. 2016 is on track to be the hottest year, with a growing evidence of a link between extreme weather and man-induced climate change. On the other hand, is the impact of violence and armed conflicts. Agriculture is one of the hardest hit sectors, and this in turn is set to negatively affect food production. So today on the program, we open with a story from the northeast of Nigeria, where many are in need of food and shelter. Do stay with us. Fati Adamu has not seen 3 of her 6 children nor her husband since Boko Haram militants attacked her hometown in northeast Nigeria in a hail of bullets. 2 years on, she is among thousands of refugees at the Bakassi camp in Maiduguri. The city was hit by a 7-year-old insurgency that has forced more than 2 million people to flee their homes. The United Nations says 400,000 children are now at risk from a famine in the northeastern states of Borno, Adamawa and Yobe, 75,000 of whom could die from hunger within the next few months. A push against the jihadists by the Nigerian army and soldiers from neighboring countries has enabled troops to enter remote parts of the northeast in the last few months, revealing tens of thousands on the brink of starvation and countless families torn apart. The World Food Programme says it provides food aid to 400,000 people in Borno and Yobe. Some 200,000 of them receive 17,000 naira each month to buy food, soon to rise to 23,000 naira. At least 15 camps, mostly on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, are home to thousands of people unable to return home and surviving on food rations.
It's not enough. Also, after I will collect the food, within the 2 weeks the food is finished, and I will start to beg the people because of the hunger.
In the center of Maiduguri, life seems to be returning to normal. Food markets are bustling, but soldiers in pickups clutching rifles are reminders of the need for vigilance. The Food and Agriculture Organization says a failure to restore their ability to farm will in the long term mean displaced people will depend on expensive food aid.
You will depend on expensive food aid, the malnutrition will remain bad, nutrition will go down, the income will spiral down. They won't have any dignity. They will remain in these camps. They become like easy target again for other armed groups. They might have to migrate again, maybe even up to Europe.
Violent insurgency in the northeast of the country has also resulted in social and political unrest, slowing down economic and agricultural activities. This has increased the risk of food insecurity. The massive shrinking of the Lake Chad in the northeast geopolitical zone of Nigeria, which played a key role in predisposing the people of the zone to enlistment into Boko Haram terror group, is a clear example of how far-reaching the consequences of climate change can be.
Because the lake has receded by over 90% of its original storage in the last 40-50 years, is part of the reason why we have this serious security challenge in the region, loss of opportunities. So how much more if the lake dries up completely? If the world doesn't do something about resuscitating the lake, chances are the 30-40 million people that are surviving around within the Lake Chad Basin will look for nowhere else to go but to start crossing the Sahara and the Mediterranean and going into Europe, which is becoming a serious crisis situation now in the European countries. One of the key things we are talking about is transferring water from the Congo River into the Lake Chad as a way of safeguarding it. There's been a feasibility study, which was pre-feasibility study that was done, financed by the Nigerian government, that was finished in 2012, which showed that this interbasin transfer from the Congo Basin to Lake Chad is possible. Unfortunately, the study didn't go very far enough for us to be able to start the process. There's still need for a feasibility study, and then there's a need for detailed design, and then we can begin to mobilize funds. This is a huge generational project that requires a lot of money and also requires a lot of planning. But currently, from the pre-feasibility study, we have an estimate of about $14 billion. It could be less, it could be more, but that will be determined after the feasibility and the details study.
Nigeria has suffered from multiple hazards and emergencies in recent years, both natural and man-made. Many rural communities are vulnerable to floods, droughts, plant pests, and livestock diseases.
Where the leaves are dry out like this.
In May 2016, the Kaduna State government declared a state of emergency after moths destroyed swaths of tomato fields, threatening supplies of the country's leading staple food. Nigerian farmers described the outbreak as tomato Ebola after the deadly disease that devastated West Africa in 2014. The news from Kaduna State saw Nigerians voice fears on social media they will not be able to make jollof rice, a beloved national dish made with tomato paste, because of the scarcity. Tomato prices shot up as a result of the moth, Tuta absoluta.
This is the kind of damage it does to the leaf on a small scale. The moth lays its eggs on the underneath of the leaf, and when the caterpillar hatches out, then it starts to eat the leaf, and within days the leaf it dries out. It's useless. But if you take this on a grand scale, where there are eggs laid on every leaf, then the plant is destroyed within a few days.